Hi there, I'm Namish Patel Owen, and you're listening to Live Your True Self, episode number 68. After 18 years doing corporate, in 2018 it became about doing me and doing what I love. It wasn't that long ago that I too felt stuck, lost, and asking myself, who am I anyway, and what's my purpose? Full of self-doubt, fear of failure, and confusion. Fast forward to this moment and you'll see a version of me that's true to myself. Calm, confident and clearer than ever before, inspired by Krishna's words in the Bhagavad Gita, one must deliver himself with the help of the mind and not degrade himself. The mind is the friend of the conditioned soul and his enemy as well. So perspective is everything, and no matter where you find yourself on your spiritual journey, allow me to guide you to drop out of your head the busyness in your mind and drop into your heart the sacred space that holds your beautiful soul, so that you too can awaken your true self and live life more meaningfully in this moment. Take a deep breath. Hello, my lovely. I am super grateful for you being here today. How are you? I hope all is well with you. I have something really insightful to share with you today, and I'm so excited. So lately I've noticed something, and it's a common struggle that many of us are facing right now, and it's not uncommon, but it can feel heavy. And I've been reflecting on this, and I realised how crucial it is to think about what we make these struggles or a particular situation actually mean. And there's a real insightful difference between reacting to life's circumstances and responding consciously and thoughtfully. So today I want to share a key lesson to living your true self, and it's been a biggie for me, so I'm hoping it will resonate with you and it will be something that you'll find super valuable and also practical in terms of what I'm going to share with you and how you can put it into practice. The truth is, while we can't control what happens to us, we have control, we have complete control over what we make of it. Right, let me say that again. While we can't control what happens to us, we 100% have control over what we make of it, and that happens in our mind. What comes our way is not always in our hands, even though I do believe that we create our results and we're responsible for that. But what comes our way in terms of life circumstances is not always in our hands. But what we make out of it is totally in our hands, right? So think of it this way. Every circumstance or situation that you and I face, whether it's expected or unexpected, whether it's intentional or unintentional, it's like a blank canvas for our mind's interpretation, and how we choose to interpret it shapes our experience, right? It shapes how we feel on the inside, and then what we radiate on the outside, right? What we do or what we don't do. So that all comes from our mind's interpretation of any given circumstance. So what story are you telling yourself about a particular situation or circumstance, something that you're experiencing right now, which perhaps feels a little bit sticky or, a little bit of a struggle, something that feels like a bit of a challenge right now. What story are you telling yourself, right? Just sit with that question for a minute. And I'll be honest with you, I've been facing some rejection lately, right? Hearing a lot of no's and things not necessarily going to plan or how I intend it to. And in the past, what would have sent me like spiraling into self-doubt and deep down a rabbit hole, thinking things like, I'm not good enough, or I don't know what I'm doing, or, I don't have enough experience. What will they think of me? All these kind of thoughts. But through my own growth and through doing my own coaching and being coached, I've learned to transform my perspective, right? I've learned to transform what is happening in my mind. And now when I hear no, I actually have a really simple thought, which I learned from a coach, which is next one. And I just love that. So the acronym NO is just a thought comes into myself. All right, next one. And it's been a game changer, right? So instead of giving power to thoughts that bring me down, which is what I did in the past, I take my brain to a kind of neutral place in my mind. I do think the thought like next one, like no big deal. And I evaluate the situation neutrally and just move on, right? It's not that I kind of just ignore it or avoid it or, as I say, dwell in it. I actually just see it for what it is. And I do evaluate, which is a process that I teach. So, what worked, what didn't work, what would I do differently in relation to that situation, in relation to that no, whatever it was to do with. I evaluate the situation and then take the growth, take the learning and move on. Right? So this is what I've been experiencing. So life unfolds for us, not to us. And that's a idea from something that I know Tony Robbins talks about. And I believe what's meant to be is meant to be. Right? Everything happens for a reason. And while we can't control what comes our way, as I said, we can 100% control what we make of it, right? We can 100% control what we make of it. We get to decide what we make anything mean, right? Hear me on this. No matter what it is, no matter what is happening in the external world, no matter what is happening in your inner world, we get to decide what we want to make that mean. So how do we do that? It's about choosing the meaning we assign to anything that happens, whether that's good, bad, or indifferent. And typically, our interpretation falls into one of three perspectives. Number one, we find the good. We can choose to see the positive and useful aspects of any situation, turning challenges into opportunities for growth and service by tuning into your heart, tuning into love, and letting your heart guide you. Number two, we focus on the negative, right? So alternatively, we might focus on what's unhelpful or disappointing about a particular situation or circumstance that we're facing. And that can cloud our perspective and limit our next steps because of the feeling that unhelpfulness and perhaps that kind of negativity radiates in our body. And so that can prevent us from taking action and going outside of our comfort zone and doing what is required to move us closer to who we want to be. But that is another perspective that we take. And number three, the third perspective is we embrace neutrality. And what I mean by that is we can adopt a neutral stance, recognizing that any situation is neither inherently good nor bad. It just is. Right? Situations are as they are. And this perspective is pure gold. And honestly, I didn't even know this existed, but there you go, right? This is the beauty of doing this inner work and going on a spiritual path, because you see that life is for us. And this perspective, so embracing neutrality, like a neutral stance, it helps us bypass unnecessary internal drama, right? What's happening in your mind, all the unhelpfulness, all the stickiness and the disappointment and the frustration, all the stuff that's self-manufactured. And it allows us to kind of stay calm, stay grounded, and maintain inner peace and inner knowing. And I often remind myself that when I'm experiencing something, it is what it is. It's not good, it's not bad, it just is. And I don't know where I picked that up from, but I find myself saying that so much. And I say that to the kids, and like literally, that's just what comes to me in the moment. The story I'll share with you is my phone. At the weekend, I was outside drying some clothes, and I took my phone with me and I set my phone on the clothes horse. And of course, I was shuffling around, and guess what happened? The phone fell. My phone fell flat on, screen side down, on the gravel floor, and the screen smashed. And literally, I was like, oh no. I picked up the phone, I looked at it, and I just went, it is what it is. It's not good, it's not bad, it just is. And then I went to my other classic, which is everything happens for a reason. And then my brain just literally went there. I took the phone, put it inside, and then carried on hanging the washing. Like, literally, I promise you. And I watched this in real time, because I was like, oh wow, like just such amazing insight in terms of just observing my brain and then observing what I was doing from that place. And it just felt really, really good, but also just really neutral. Like, yes, I was disappointed. Yes, I did feel a sense of, I wish it never happened sort of thing. But I didn't go there first. First, I very much went to a place of, it is what it is. It's not good, it's not bad, it is what it is. And then I even thought, all right, maybe it's time to upgrade my phone, because I've been thinking about that anyway. I was due for an upgrade, and I've got an iPhone 10, and I think I'm 15 now, maybe even 16. I don't know. But I was like, I want a better camera because I'm doing some more videos and things like that, and more memory space. So then my brain just went to everything happens for a reason, which is so fun. So they are the three perspectives that we choose when it comes to assigning a meaning. Number one, we find the good. Number two, we focus on the negative. And number three, we embrace the neutral. And they are all available to us. And all of this is happening in our mind, no matter what the situation is. So like, hear me on this. No matter what it is, you can take your brain to either of these places. And it's not either or, it could be a combination, but you really got to notice where your brain goes first, because that really is default thinking. And that is the thinking that either you want to lean into, or if it serves you, or, work on in terms of shifting if it doesn't serve you. So understanding and applying these perspectives is a form of free will. And Krishna, God, the universe, whatever you believe in, has given us free will. That is what you, I, every single human being on this planet has. We have free will to decide, to choose what we think, feel, and do. And it empowers us to steer our life in a direction that aligns with who we truly are and aligns to where we want to go and who we want to be. And it's about responding with intention and a conscious state of mind rather than reacting impulsively in the moment and being someone you don't want to be. And here's a simple but powerful practice to help you with this. When you're feeling some heartache or frustration about a situation, you can simply ask yourself, what am I making this mean? And what do I want to make this mean? Right, just pause whatever's unfolding or happening in front of you. Allow yourself to pause, take a deep breath, and ask yourself, what am I making this mean? And just come up with the first sentence. And if it doesn't make you feel good, right? If it doesn't make you feel good and put a smile on your face, and that is your observation, ask yourself, what do I want to make this mean? What alternative thing can I make this mean to better serve me, right? And be open and honest as you unpack the meaning you're giving to the situation, and you can play around with it, right? Sometimes it will be done quite, I would say mechanically, and you're doing it in the moment, but like quite logically. And then as you do it more and more and more, it will just become second nature, and you will just do it instinctively, which is exactly what I did with the example of the phone. And this awareness like really is transformative. Like, you really tune into what is happening in your mind and take ownership of that and exercise your free will to better serve you, to move you forward. So as you move through your day and navigate through life's ups and downs, because we know there will be ups and downs, keep asking yourself, what am I making this mean? Right? And how can I choose a perspective that moves me closer to who I want to be, that supports my well-being and growth and being in service to others, right? Just take a moment to do that consciously and intentionally if it's not something you've done before. And just know that no matter what meaning you are giving things, it's totally fine. It's totally normal. We have a default mind and we have a monkey mind, and it wants to make things worse than they are. And remember the acronym of MIND, which is another podcast I've done, which is that the mind magnifies, right? It magnifies things, sometimes unhelpfully. It imagines, right? Imagines the worst case scenario, which we've spoken about, and it neglects to focus on the goodness, right? And what you have done, and how this can be a good thing, or how this can be a point of growth and a point of learning. And it distracts, right? It distracts us from being who we want to be. And it distracts us from taking action because it's trying to keep us safe, right? And not expend energy in doing something that's open to risk and criticism and failure. So, slight aside, but this is what the mind does. So it's totally normal, right? Whatever perspective you are giving, know that it's okay, but more importantly, know that you have free will to decide what perspective you want to give to it. And I've come to understand that life is a beautiful dance, and it's up to us to create a meaning from it that serves us and that serves our people, right? Serves the people that you interact with. And every discomfort and challenge is an opportunity for growth and expansion, and an opportunity for us to step into service in a bigger way. And this is an identity shift, right? With each situation, we choose to rise and step into a more conscious and intentional version of ourselves. And it always comes, and I always say this, awareness is the first step. You have to notice what is happening in your mind. And here's something important for you to remember. 99% of the problem, right, whatever the situation or the circumstance, whatever the perceived problem is, 99% of the problem is created in our minds, right? By our thoughts, by our limiting beliefs, by the stories we are telling ourselves. Only 1% of the problem or perceived problem is the reality, which is the actual event or outcome or situation or circumstance. Only 1% is the actual problem. 99% is our thinking about the problem. And often the problem isn't the real issue, right? The real issue is how we think about the problem and what we make it mean about ourselves and our lives, and what that means about our status or our progress or our next steps. So living in our heads rather than our hearts and our bodies is one of the biggest challenges of our time. And genuinely, this is the podcast, right? This is the whole premise of Live Your True Self podcast. It's about coming out of your head and dropping into your heart and letting our heart guide us. And here's what's helped me navigate through this, right? It's 3 simple practices. Number 1, journaling. Simply writing it down on paper, right? Nothing fancy, just pen and paper. Simply writing down your thoughts on paper. No judgment, no analysing, no questioning, just writing it down, which allows us to create distance from those thoughts and just see them as thoughts. And knowing that they're just sentences in our brain, right? Not truth, not fact. And you can ask yourself also, or I like to ask myself the questions I mentioned earlier. If it's in relation to a particular circumstance and I'm feeling a bit stuck, I'll literally just put the heading of list that circumstance down, and then ask myself, what do I want to make this mean? So you can gain the awareness, which is, what am I making this mean? And then take your brain to a place of, what do I want to make this mean that better serves me? And that is just simple journaling. So it could just be journaling, unpacking your mind, or you can do it specific in relation to the questions I shared. Number 2, meditation. Taking time to be with yourself, right? Taking time to center myself, connecting with my breath, my heart, my body, to quieten my mind and to unpack some answers and seek inner wisdom, because I believe that the answer lies within. And so if you're trying to navigate through something, the best place to go is within. And I know our brain wants to go on Google and Google it and find out the answers. And obviously there is a place for that. But when it comes to like decision making, or, figuring out your next best move and, moving forward in terms of what's good for you, you've got to go with it. Number 3, what helps me is movement and connecting with nature. Movement is a big thing for me. Moving my body moves my mind, and moving my mind moves my body. There is just like a clear link, and that is a daily thing for me and even multiple times a day. And connecting with nature is also something that is so important to me, right? Connecting with the sounds, the colors, the fresh air, connecting with the sun, because, I believe that Krishna is everywhere, God is everywhere. And so just connecting with the outdoors allows me to see and feel the beauty and the vastness of Mother Nature, breathing in the fresh air and breathing in the beauty that is the world all around us. So they are the 3 things that helps me: journaling, meditation, movement, and connecting with nature. And also, the nature thing just came to me is growth. I every time I go out in nature, I always see growth, and I always see that no matter what, nature evolves, nature grows. There's seasons, there's changes, the leaves drop, the leaves bloom, like all these things. And it's such an amazing metaphor for so many things to help us as human beings navigate through the ups and downs of life. And here's the thing. By doing these things, for me, it's never as bad as I make it sometimes in my mind, right? So whatever you do, like whatever works for you, do that, right? And know what works for you, right? And that's my ask. Like, you ask yourself, what works for me? What helps me drop out of my head and into my heart? Whatever it is, make sure it's part of your daily routine. And I promise you, you will seek insight and really be able to see that whatever the situation is, it's not as bad, and there is some goodness in it if you allow yourself to see it and allow yourself to choose it. Someone once said, maybe it was a wise monk, life becomes so much lighter when we live it as it is for us, rather than just thinking about it in its worst possible way. So let's put this into practice with a short guided journaling meditation. So be sure to have a pen and notebook handy if you can. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Louise Hay. Gift yourself this moment for reflection and insight to do just that. Finding a comfortable position, close your eyes if you can, and take a deep breath in through your nose, expand your belly, and gently exhale through your mouth. Let's do that again. Inhale deeply, expand expanding your belly, filling your lungs, and exhale slowly, releasing any tension in your body. As you continue to breathe slowly and deeply, feel yourself becoming more relaxed, more centered, and more present in this moment. Just allow your thoughts to drift away like clouds in the sky, bringing your focus to the beautiful breath that fuels you. And just allowing your breath to flow in its own natural rhythm. Let me invite you to bring to mind something you're experiencing right now. Something that's been on your heart or occupying your mind. It could be a challenge, a situation, or an interaction with someone. Whatever it may be, just allow it to gently come into your awareness. This is something that you would like to make more sense of, and something that you would like to move forward from in a more conscious and intentional way. As you think about this experience and bring it to mind, notice the thoughts and feelings that arise. From a neutral place, without judgment, simply observe what comes up for you. And if it feels good for you, you can write them down now in order to capture these thoughts. What meaning have you been assigning to this experience? What story have you been telling yourself about it? What are the sentences in your mind that are playing in relation to this particular situation? Take a moment to sit with this. And allow yourself to breathe into whatever thoughts or emotions are present, knowing that it's okay to feel whatever you're feeling. Thoughts are just thoughts. They are not who you are. If you can, and you're writing, just wrap up this final sentence to capture your thoughts as we move on. Take a deep breath In through the nose and out through the mouth. And now let's shift our focus. Let me invite you to ask yourself, what is an alternative, more empowering meaning I can assign to this experience? What is an alternative, more empowering meaning I can assign to this experience? Perhaps it's an opportunity for growth, a lesson that's guiding you towards your next level. Maybe it's a chance to practice self-compassion, patience, or resilience. Or it could be a reminder that you are stronger, braver, and more capable than you realize in this moment. Whatever comes to mind, trust that this new meaning is here to serve you, to uplift you, and to move you closer to the person you really want to be. Take a moment now to capture this new empowering meaning in your notebook if that feels good for you. Take a moment to finish off that final piece, if you were capturing it in your notebook, and let me invite you to come back. Our words and thoughts are powerful. What you tell yourself every day will either lift you up or tear you down. Oprah. Take another deep breath in, and as you exhale, release the old meaning, the one that no longer serves you. Sigh it out. Let it go completely. Let's do that now. Breathe in and sigh it out. Let it go. Once more like that. Breathe in. Breathe out. Let it go. Inhale once more, and this time breathing in the new empowering meaning you've chosen. Feel it filling your body, your mind, and your spirit, warming your heart. And breathe out as you just let it sink into your body. Feel the warmth in your body. Feel the smile in your face. Feel the excitement in your belly. Once more like that. Breathe in the new empowering meaning you've chosen. And breathe out. Just let it sink into your beautiful body. As you sit here with this new meaning, notice how it shifts your energy, how it transforms the way you feel about your situation. Know that you have the power to choose this perspective at any time, to reinterpret your experiences in a way that supports your growth and well-being, to serve others at your highest level. This is who you are. Take a moment to thank yourself for creating this new empowering meaning and letting go of the meaning that no longer serves you. As we wrap up, take a few more moments to breathe and soak in this empowering energy. Let it anchor into your being. This renewed version of yourself, this new perspective and lens you now take forward. Know that you can come back to this practice whenever you need, and know that you can apply it to any situation that you find yourself in. Take a final deep breath here. And when you're ready, gently bring your awareness back to the space you're in. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. And when you feel comfortable to do so, gently open your eyes if they were closed. Remember, you always have the power to choose what meaning you assign to any experience. And with that power comes the freedom to create a life that aligns with your true self. Thank you for practicing with me today. Until next week, keep shining your light, and may you always live your true self. Namaste. Thank you for listening to another episode of Live Your True Self podcast. If you want to learn more about my work and how I can support you, come visit me at namishapatelowen.com and be sure to sign up for my weekly email to receive more mindset insights. It's an honor to continue serving you on your growth journey. Bye for now.